welcome back to Bocce's Corner. I'm going to bring you along for another meal prep, another casserole to be exact. I'm going to use the same recipe as my base as I did in my previous summer squash casserole. And I use this recipe, Gigi's summer squash casserole with sour cream. So this is what I'm going to use as my base. So what I have is I pulled out my squash out of the freezer that I preserved from my garden. I have 2 tablespoons of butter here that I'm going to mix in with a cup of breadcrumbs. This is the garlic rosemary breadcrumbs. So I'm going to mix the butter in with this and use it as a topping. So let me put this out of the way. I have some smoked Gouda here that I took out of the freezer. I'm going to add that. Parmesan cheese. I'm going to add that. I took out my frozen sliced onions. So I'll mix that in with the squash into my frying pan just to heat it through because it's already, everything is already softened. So I'm just going to heat it through. I have my can of cream of chicken soup. And I also am going to, the twist is I'm going to add this chicken sausage. It is Asiago and spinach flavored chicken sausage. And I picked these up on Flashfood. Which, by the way, Flashfood has added on ShopRite. So now that I know of is ShopRite and Stop and Shop is now a part of Flashfood. So I think as it grows, more stores will be joining. So keep your eyes out for that. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna put all this together. But I thought, hey, let me bring you along and let's get going. I think I'm gonna start with heating through the squash and the onions first, just so that they're ready to go when I'm ready to put everything together. All right, so let's get to it. So I just finished slicing up all my chicken sausage. This is fully cooked, by the way. And this smells so good. So good. So this is going to be a very flavorful casserole. So I guess the main ingredient is going to be the sausage because there's just so much of it. And I have my squash heating up on medium high. Came to a boil or simmer, so it still feels like it needs a little bit longer. I think the skins on the yellow squash, they still feel a little tough. So let me just let this keep going for another maybe 5 minutes until it feels right. So I'll cover that back up. I'm going to turn the heat down to a medium. So I went and, let me clean this up. Let me wipe this down. Okay, I went and got a cup of my Greek yogurt, or plain, I shouldn't say Greek yogurt, my plain yogurt that I make. And I'm going to open up the can of cream of chicken soup. And mix things together. So let's just keep going. Before I forget, I mentioned the squash and onions. I mentioned the sausage. What I did, I also melted some butter. I had to add more butter because I over melted it and it went over the edge. So I lost some of the butter out of the little quarter cup that I had. So I have to melt a little bit more. Added it. So I've got my breadcrumbs all set. So okay, I just need to go get my mixing bowl and start putting stuff together. I am going to stir in some garlic and herb. A couple of tablespoons, probably 2. Let's see how this goes. Perfect. 2 tablespoons. It will rehydrate in the mixture. The last time I did this, I regretted not adding spices. There was fine print in that recipe that I didn't see that you can add extra spices. So I didn't do that. I didn't follow my gut. This time, I am well aware of the opportunity to add additional spices, and I'm doing that. Especially garlic and herb will go very well with the Asiago chicken sausages. And this will add additional flavor to the squash and onions. So this will be perfect. I'm going to drain my squash and be back. So I'm not sure how I'm going to put this together just yet, but my squash is drained. I actually pressed the water out a little bit so that it still has moisture in it, but at least most of the water is out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer it to this bowl. Get all my onions in there. Mix it all together. I'm not sure yet how I'm gonna do. I mix the chicken sausage in with this? Do I layer it? I'm not sure. I'm almost thinking of layering it, but we'll see. I'm going to make it easy on myself. I'm going to put everything together. I just want to mix in the cheese very well before I add the chicken sausage to it. I want to give this just a little bit of taste. That is out of this world. This is so good. That garlic and herb seasoning I added to it, oh my goodness, that is so good. And then with the flavored chicken sausage to go in here as well, this is gonna knock it out of the ballpark, guaranteed. Okay. Let's go for it. Chicken sausage is still cold, and it's gonna cool everything down, so it might need to be in the oven a little bit. Ooh, there's a lot here. Maybe I don't need so much. I was figuring 2 links per serving, but let me get some of this out, and then that one's got some stuff on it, so let's stir this and see where we're at. All right, let's transfer this to the to the, what do you call it, casserole dish. I think I'll spray my pan just in case. Probably doesn't need to be, but I'm still going to. I'm just going to cover this with foil. My oven is preheated to 350. So I'm going to cover this with foil. I'm going to put this in the oven for about 30 minutes. I'm going to take it out, take the cover off, and put it back in for another 15 minutes so to toast up the breadcrumbs somewhat. All right, I'll bring you back when this is done. I ended up pulling this out after 45 minutes. So I had it in there for 45 minutes covered. And then I took the foil off and put it back in for another 10. And it's been sitting here for approximately 30 minutes. I just wanted it set up a little bit before I start cutting into it. So let's get to filling our containers. Anything that's left over, I will put into a container or try and find a container that's like a serving size or two and put it in the freezer as a grab and go. And that way, you know, it's in there. So let's get to it. Okay, so this last one here, I'm going to use saran wrap. This is going to go in the freezer. This is what's left over. And this will be turned into a freezer grab and go meal. That by the time lunch rolls around or dinner rolls around, it'll be thawed out. You just heat it up in the microwave. These are for me. These 4. I don't know. Yeah. These 4 are for me. These 2, because my son hasn't been bringing back my meal prep containers, it's resorting to he's going to have to portion it out himself. So there we have it. Thank you once again for joining me in Bobchi's Corner while I did my upcoming week's meal prep. And hope to see you soon. Until next time.